Hey, perfect spirit, or is it superhero? I see perfect spirit and superhero as one and the same, that we can do all things. I'm Sam Shelley, and they call me the Miracle Man. I really want to help you transform your life. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I talk about getting rid of all this worry, stress, this anxiety, shifting out of that place to more of the heart, to remembering who you are. And when you live from this deeper place, life transforms. So I'm not really sure which direction I'm going today, but I just want to talk about, when life gets flipped side down and you start to fear what's going to happen next. Pretty much like fear into the unknown of what's going to happen next. And I dealt with this quite a few times in my life, being suicidal, being institutionalized, wondering how life is going to resume after that, how it's all going to work out, or maybe when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and what was going to happen next. Because his mind just loves to play the what if game and constantly induce fear, induce anxiety, really future guessing. How do we get out of the state of future guessing and being okay with the unknown? Now, that's a tall order for the mind to be okay with the unknown. The mind likes structure, it likes to have a plan, things mapped out. But unfortunately, life doesn't follow a plan, it doesn't follow a script. Life just has these ebbs and flows, and we have to do our best to adapt to those changing situations. So it's really about learning to be present in this moment and not worry about the next moment. Because when you're fully here, fully connected with your perfect spirit, the soul, the consciousness, that superhero within you, then you know all is well. And that no matter what happens next, all will still be well. So if you're really rooted in this moment, then you're not dealing with the mind's what if games. But maybe you aren't there and you're dealing with the mind's what if games. Just notice this is overthinking, over processing, over analyzing. And that's not helpful because we have to remember anytime we're up in here, we're in a disempowered state. So it's always a practice of like, where are my feet? Where are my hands? What am I seeing? What am I touching? Oh, yeah, the mind's going to go very bored of this practice because the mind's always chasing the shiny object, always being distracted by something. And this distraction really came about in these instant results of wanting things now, now, now. So we get distracted, we lose patience, all this stuff happens because society has shifted now to instant satisfaction, what's the new shiny object. And this all began back with the invention of the microwave. Microwave, you put something in, you get dinner out really quick. You don't have to spend like a half hour in a kitchen. So that's when we start building the habit of the microwave, maybe even the cell phone. Maybe you want an answer, so go to Google and you get your answer right away. In the old days, if you will, you would have to, before the internet, so it'd be like in the 80s would be the old days, I guess, or maybe mid 90s before the internet came online. If you wanted to know something, you had to go to the library, encyclopedia, books, and really do some physical research. Now you can just pick up your phone, don't even have to type, say, hey Google, tell me about this. Hey Google, this. Hey Google. Or hey Alexis, whatever you want to call it. You just speak into your phone and voila, the answer's there. So this gets into bad habits, if you will, of lack of patience. Because sometimes the answers we get from the internet aren't quite 100% accurate. There is some misinformation out there. But there is one truth detector within us, and that is perfect spirit, and the answers that arise from this place of knowing. Though we have to realize the mind's making the best guess. The machines, the computers are making a best guess. But the truth is always within us, in this place of knowing, of is just knowing. So we have to realize that spirit operates on one step at a time. Spirit does not give you the whole plan. One step at a time. That's how spirit works. So when you're really dealing with this unknown situation, life is all upside down. The way you get it back onto track is by becoming present and listening to your truth that's within you, not seeking outside for the answers, not relying on the computers, the machines, um, not relying on libraries, looking things up. Because you can go into things in a library or even online and look at all the things that once were considered facts that were later disproven. But one thing that isn't disproven is the wisdom from spirit, this deep place of knowing. And the way we access this is just by being here, where your feet, where your hands. Then the next skill is, after being present, is to discerning the voice of spirit. Because I do listen to some of these channels and some of this other things that's a little bit different than spirit voice. Spirit voice is one or two words, where channel just seems to be a different layer of information. But there's a feeling like a certain certainty with it too when you hear it. And then I've really practiced the skill of discernment, because some so-called channelers, these star seeds, everyone wanted to call them, I could just see they're really ego based. They're really projecting their belief system. And you can see some of these channelers too. They acquire a different voice, a different tone, a different personality. And I think, when I'm tapping into spirit, I don't think I change that much. Maybe I slow down a drop and close my eyes so I can really tune in, but I don't get this other voice or this other behaviors. If anything, I just slow down so I can fully understand. So we just have to watch people swaying us as well. And I always want people to say, don't believe me. Go find out for yourself. And it just reminds me of a story from Anya Shante. He'd like say, don't believe me, I'm lying to you. Because he knows that we are taking it through the mental barriers, the mind. And no matter how much we try to keep the purity of that information, it's impossible. Because this brain is constantly filtering, realigning beliefs to your belief system. So we're seeing this information come in and we're trying to keep the purity of it, but yet the information comes in, has to scramble around the brain instead of being like maybe precisely aligned. Maybe it's like an inch or two away. It's 98% there, but a little bit off, because it's still be coming through the brain. It has to translate it into language. And sometimes we can misinterpret, because sometimes it doesn't come in words. It comes in signs, symbols. And you hear a lot of this from the mediums, especially. You'll hear them say, I'm seeing this image, but I have no idea what that means. And it will mean different things to different people. Like I can see like a man, if I'm reading for somebody, like there's a man standing here and he feels close, like a spouse, a brother, but he's saying this. Then I'll hear from the person like, oh, that's my father. And, but the words are there, so it's always a little bit of a game with what's coming on, and from spirits, a little bit of a charades, so we can't always get it precise. So just realize we're doing the best we can with our truth detector, with spirit, with consciousness, of trying to discern what is the truth of that information. Because this does come in a pure form, and spirit doesn't follow the laws of physics or science or nothing. So I imagine spirit will come to you someday with some wisdom that's literally impossible for the human body to execute. It's just spirit can be funny that way, because spirit doesn't understand that we're constrained within this body. But we don't want to subscribe to these limiting beliefs either. that we want to be okay moment by moment, that all is well. I may not know the answer, but I trust all is well, and whatever happens next is for my greatest good, because there are no mistakes in the universe. All right, well, take good care of yourself. I'm feeling really light and free. I guess somebody's around. They're just filling me with all this joy, all this lightness. Lots of fun. All right, take good care. Have a great night.